everybody, and welcome back to Organized Joy. Today we are doing a new feature at Organized Joy where I interview and /demo/ get a little tutorial for us. And today's one is going to be around makeup. I have Alex here. She is the fabulous makeup artist. She did my makeup for my wedding and I just loved what she did, and we've stayed in contact, and she's friends with friends and stuff, so I asked her to come along and show us some tips and tricks, and yeah, hopefully we can all learn from her. I'm going to use whatever I learned from her at the Luries. As I said to you in the last episode, I'm off to Luries next weekend, so we'll make sure our makeup looks amazing.
So, Joy, we are going to start off doing your foundation and concealer. What I've decided to do, I'm using a fuller coverage today because you're going to the Luries next week. And then we're going to do a basic day face, and then we're going to vamp you up for a little bit of a night look.
Awesome.
A couple of things I want to discuss with the audience regarding choosing foundation. Don't be afraid to not purchase something at the spur of the moment. Try something on your face. Go to the shops without any foundation on. Look at a foundation, take into consideration whether you want full coverage or light coverage. Wear it for the day, because then you get to see yourself in natural light. Wear it for the day, see if you like it, and then go back and purchase. I think sometimes we are in a hurry to buy something, and then often because of the lighting in store, you land up with the wrong color. Another thing to take into consideration going on holiday. Especially if you're going on a summer holiday and you're going to be in the sun, take 2 foundations with you. One for the beginning of the holiday and then 1.5 shades darker, so that in your pics you don't look too white. So the way I like to work is pretty much concealing all the way around the eye, setting that with a light powder because that will give you longevity with your eyeshadow. Otherwise the eyeshadow mixes with the oils. So I'm going to pop that there on your lap.
Cool.
So I'm going to just dip into that. Close eyes for me, and then we can just check the color, which is a perfect match to your actual eyelid. And blend that all in. This now gives you a nice even surface to work on. So another little trick I'm going to show you today is doing your eyeshadow before you apply the rest of your foundation. Any oopsies can be fixed before, because it tends to stick to the eye. Well, the eyeshadow tends to stick to the foundation if you have any fall off. Okay. And then Joy, if you could just look up for me. So you'll see the concealer is slightly lighter, it's meant to be. When you put your foundation in, you're going to blend it all together. Just gives the face a little bit of depth. So now we're going to set that, and I'm just going to use sort of a solid powder. Just close your eyes for me. Be careful with too much powder around the eyes, because it can sometimes make the skin look a little bit crepey. So just use minimal quantities.
And is a brush like you're using better than like those sponges that you often get in those?
What I find with a brush, you don't use that much product.
Yeah.
For me, it's also easier to clean, so it's a little bit more hygienic. I'm working on lots of people all the time. The sponge for me, I don't know, I think it absorbs quite a bit of bacteria, so I prefer to use a brush. Also, the brush with the slight points, you can get in and under and around the eye a little bit more easily.
Yeah.
If you look up for me. So you see, I'm going to take that powder and I'm just going to put it there for now. I'm not going to take it all the way down. Okay, So you've now got your basic palette to start your eye.
Awesome.
Okay.
Hope no one minds all the barking in the background. Those are the munchkins as usual. Very upset they can't be in here.
Okay. So, I always believe in keeping your makeup quite neutral. There's time to have fun with your makeup, but it's not for every occasion either. Then I would call in a professional if you want to go like really balls to the wall. So this is something you can do every day. It's pretty easy. I think also what one needs to realize is to not overcomplicate makeup. There is so much makeup happening on social media at the moment that I think people are actually becoming completely overwhelmed and they land up doing nothing because they are expected to do all the funny lines, the taking off eyebrow, and it's actually not that. Makeup is here to enhance your natural beauty and not cover the person that you are. Okay, so I'm going to give that to you as well.
Cool.
So I like to highlight the lid only up until the sort of crease line. Sort of in a warmish tone.
So as you were saying, we're doing eyeshadow before we're doing the foundation, right? I think that's something I always do the other way around.
Many people do. I think for me, working in the industry, I like to keep the skin as clean as possible. And it's you don't have to be afraid with your eyeshadow. There's fall off, you clean it away.
Yeah. That's a great tip.
Okay, so for you to see how high you want to go, you can actually work with your eye open as well to see how high your crease is. So you'd look straight into a mirror and basically you can take your brush and blend that whole area there. Okay, so basically you've done your highlights and you can see the lids have already come alive. You can do just a little bit more over there, close eye for me. Now, there's always been a myth that shimmer makes the skin look older and actually it reflects light away. So when I highlight, I prefer to use a shimmer, keeps the skin fresh. You know, a matte for me is just dead. So there's a time and a place for a matte. I'm going to use a matte eyeshadow, but the highlighter I quite like to. It's also, when you are doing makeup yourself, shimmer actually is easier to blend.
Okay.
So
we have to make notes of all these colours. But we'll link them below for you as well, so that you do know the colours that Alex has used.
Perfect. That was all that glitters from MAC.
Cool.
Now I'm using a colour called Cork from MAC as well.
Cork.
MAC as well, Cork, yeah. And this is also a great shade for your eyebrows, which I'll show you.
Okay.
Okay, so you've got a 2-in-1. So now you just want to darken it. So this will kind of be your no makeup look. Which is always the most difficult to achieve.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Don't worry about the whole crease and doing the highlighter and cutting into the crease. It's not necessary for us to do that every day.
Okay.
We can maybe do another tutorial where we do that hell of a.
Yeah.
But this is just easy to do every day.
Okay, cool.
So you see we're starting to get a sort of soft, smoky vibe in a very natural tone. And you see what your highlight has done. If you keep it just above that crease, you get that blended look because that's lighter than the actual tone of the eyeshadow. So working with the eye open gives you your reference points to start and stop and how far to take it out. You do still want to see it. Okay, then for me it's always important to sort of frame the eye. But liner sometimes tends to drag down. So I'm going to show you a little trick to stop that from happening, so that by the end of the day your liner's not on your top lip. Okay. So for now I'm going to use a soft brown under the eye and in the lash line, because we're going to vamp it up with a little bit of black in a sec once your face is done. Look up for me. So you really want to take that kohl into the outer corner and into that lash line. It's a little bit uncomfortable. Sorry.
No, it's fine.
Okay. And make sure it ends off at the end of the eye. Close it on for me. Take your brown into that lash line. Okay, let's see that. Then we're going to blend it so we soften up the line a little bit. Look up to me here. And once you set that liner with your powder shadow, that will also stop the fall down of the eyeliner. So if you just look up for me and then take it right along the lash line and so you can see it's a little bit more smudgy as opposed to a solid line under the eye. Just keeping it a little bit softer. Then you want to balance out that framing, and you can just take your shadow and smudge your kohl pencil on the top as well. See that? Okay, see, so it's all joined in the corners. That's the most important thing, that you don't have sort of that break in the outer corner of the eye.
You can see skin.
Yeah. Okay. And take this and just go right underneath the eyeshadow. Dab a tiny bit of powder.
So is that a loose powder?
Yeah. And that'll just help the product set, because we're going to wipe away that powder. Okay, that's me. That's gone. So you
see how much you end up with. Eh?
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to go back with our concealer color. Just throw that back under the eye. Okay, so when also shopping for a foundation, it's very important to understand your undertone and also what skin type you have. So if you're going in there, you're either going to have a pink undertone or you're going to have a yellow undertone. You and I are actually very similar, more of a yellow, and there's a little bit of red as well in places. So you want to keep your foundation quite warm, a bit more pale. Okay, so I am blending, and don't be afraid to blend two colors together either. Sometimes I actually suggest to my clients to buy a light and a dark and blend the two colors together on a daily basis to get the perfect color, because I find very rare occasions you find the absolute perfect match.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can see we're now starting to blend that concealer away.
Why is it called the winning zone?
Because you know, skin's the most important. Once you've got your skin right, you know, it's your face is over away. So sometimes all you need is a foundation, a mascara, a blush, and a lipstick, and go. Just let you chin up for me. And you see, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
That now is all starting to blend in. Oh, sorry. To your chest, so you don't have that sort of funny line around the neck. Okay, got your chin. See, it's all sort of blending in. People often ask, like, how do you keep your foundation on for the day? You have to set your foundation. If you don't set your foundation, it mixes with your oils, you touch your face, it does rub away.
Yeah.
If you feel like you're looking shiny during the day, just get a Rizzler paper, blot the areas that you feel are too shiny, or take your powder whisk to work and dab in the areas that you need to.
How do you set a foundation?
Sort of in and around the face. I'm going to grab in like this. So under this area here, I'm going to go slightly lighter. Look up for me. And just in a minimal sort of way. So I know contouring is quite a huge thing at the moment. It's very time consuming. I think if you want to look good for the day, you don't want to spend 2 hours doing your face before you go to work.
Don't have the time.
Don't have the time. I know you especially don't have the time. So what you need to do is just place your blusher in certain areas of the face. It'll give you a soft contour without being at all stripy. I always like to go with a peachy undertone. It always looks fresh, it makes you feel younger, and it just livens up the skin. So basically what you'll do, when we go into the night look, I'm going to add highlighter. And highlighter, then you'll obviously notice a lot more contouring as well because you add the highlighter above the contour area. So for now, for during the day, you just take your cheek from here and start blending down onto the apple and under. So it's almost a sort of U. Or a tick.
I love blush. You can always see when someone's put it on too much or doesn't have. And that's what I think makes it so important.
If you make a mistake with your blush, it's so easy if you're working with a brush to sort of blend out those areas. If you feel like you've done way too much, you just blend so it sort of tapers out. Okay, then we're going to move on to the brows. So that's also become
Quite a thing.
Quite a thing.
Because now I see there's like these brushes with colour in them and all kinds of things.
Yeah. Women are actually plucking their brows to draw on their brows. Actually always believe keep what you have, enhance what you have. That very solid drawn on end, sometimes that's the first thing that you see, you actually miss the person. So we're going to do a soft brow. It takes a bit of time to get it right, but when I was learning how to do makeup, sit with your knee at night and take your angle brush and actually do your strokes and practice on your knee. Because I think it's important to get your brows right. Okay. So I'm back to the colour cork. You blonde, so we don't need to go too dark. So we're first going to do a brush through on your brows. And then we start dipping gently and just clean off any excess if you feel like it's too much. And I'm going to start with the outside edge because you also don't want the inner corner to be too solid. You want that to be soft. So just, you can see, I'm filling in just areas that are missing. You don't want to, you actually a great brown. There needs to go.
Well, I've never plucked them.
Fabulous. We can reiterate that on this video.
Yeah.
Leave it to the professionals. In fact, in the fashion industry, messy brows are the thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to give you a nude.
Yes.
Easier to apply, easy to redo throughout the day. I absolutely love the Rimmel nudes. So I think they're accessible to absolutely everybody. This is number 55, my nude. It kind of goes on all skin tones. And look. It's a nude, but it's not a hungry nude. It gives you slight bit of colour.
Hungry.
Yeah. Sometimes we can do a little bit too light, and then you do look parched. Okay, then we've got a nice easy face to achieve before work.
Awesome.
In the mornings.
So, that is my day look, and Alex is now going to show me how I go from day to night without having to go home and start all over again.
So, pigments are always great.
Okay.
These loose pigments, because they've got a lot of luster and they've got a lot of shine. So at night you can obviously glam it up and bling it up a little bit to a point. So this is also nice and easy to keep in your makeup bag. It's not big and it's not cumbersome.
So this is a little bit of that.
Yes,
right?
this is a little bit of that. So you can see it's sort of like a lovely bronzy colour.
Yes.
So
Can you see that?
you've already got your whole eye blended.
Yeah.
So now I'm just going to make it shine. So we're going to, if you close your eye for me, we're going to work over that sort of brown area that we had earlier.
So can you get these little, what did you call them?
This is an NYX from Clicks.
Okay.
They've got a great range of little pigments.
Okay. Pigments.
They're loose pigments. So they're basically loose eyeshadows.
Yeah.
And you can get matte ones, and you can also, I like the shimmer ones for nights.
Yeah. Shimmer is nice.
Yeah. And then just sort of take it out a little bit more than you had your day makeup. So you can lay it out with it. Open for me. Yeah, it's a really great colour. And lift it out a little bit. Look straight ahead for me, Joy. So that's worked well, right over that. And then we're going to do the same in the other. Do be careful when you work with the pigments to take a little bit at a time, because it can get messy. So if you want to, you can place loose powder underneath your eye.
Okay, that catches it all.
That catches it all.
And then you just brush it off.
And then you just brush it off. Go straight again. That's done for now. What we're going to do is rim line now around the eye with black instead of brown.
Cool. I want to go shopping.
Yep.
My voucher that I still have.
Where are you shopping?
At MAC.
Ah, there we go. So you're going to go in the lash line. This is a colour from MAC called Feline. I like it because it blends really easily with a brush.
So is Feline a product or a
It's
colour?
a kohl pencil.
Okay.
Sorry. Yeah. So you can really work it into the lash line. You don't need any black eyeshadow. And you can take it as I mean, if you want to go full on black, you can take it right up to the lash line and blend this pencil as an eyeshadow with a brush.
Oh, wow.
You know, there's so many options in terms of evening makeup as well. If you wanted to, with your day look, you could have popped on a bit of Ruby Woo, added your highlighter and gone. But if you want drama on the eye, 2 easy products to use to get that sort of drama going. Yeah, so okay for me. Okay, this you need a tiny bit. So I just put it on the end, and then you'll see I'll drag it with my brush on the bottom lash line. And don't get rid of that brown because it still keeps the softness. You'll see I've just added Feline, the kohl pencil, on the outer corners there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag it on the bottom. And you see how easily it smudges. So in our previous day look, I didn't add any mascara because Joy has got individuals on, the semi-permanents. It's not necessary to put on the bottom during the day. I am going to, because we're going for smoky look now, I'm going to add quite a bit on the bottom lashes only for now. So if you look up for me, always enjoy a Maybelline mascara. So when you've got a liner on underneath the eye, really push your mascara into that lash line. It gives it great definition, so you can actually feel I'm touching your, you know, uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's fine.
And if you do need mascara on your top lashes, do the same thing. Sometimes people are scared of messing the mascara on their top lid, so maybe do that before you do your eyeshadow. So you can take an earbud and clean away mess.
Yeah. I even get asked that now, how come you don't have mascara on your top thing? I'm like, I have lashes on.
Yeah, I don't need that. So what else we're going to do is we're going to add highlights. So a little bit of romance on the cheekbones. For the evening, and we can add a little bit just in the Cupid's bow over here. I'm using Soft and Gentle from MAC. They've got a really nice range of highlighters that have got quite a small grain because you don't want a thick glittery look. You want something soft and pearly on the cheekbones. So you can go from anything from a pinker undertone to a golden undertone, but you'll see, so this is got a slight bit of gold and bronze in it, and we're going to put that in there. So if you just turn that way for me, so where the blush is, you're going to go along and under. You can see how beautifully the light picks up just sort of around that area there, and then keeping your blusher underneath that. Then in terms of lips, I want to say
Gloss is back.
I'm going to add a gloss to this look. It's very easy to touch up on a night out, unless you're going with a red lip, then you would take that with.
Is that Snog?
This is Snog.
That's what you used on me for my wedding.
I've
bought it ever since.
It is such a great colour. So what you can do is keep your lip that you've had on during the day and just put a clear gloss over. But this for me is glossy. It's sexy, but not over the top.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just pop that over the nude.
So this is the same highlighter.
Yeah.
It goes into your Cupid's bow. I didn't even know that's what it was called.
So the little, so over there. You can also add a little shimmer there and a little shimmer there. And you can see when I put the powder on, I don't take away all the shine. I keep a bit of glow. It's just basically to set the product. And look up for me. Final setting on my eye.
Thanks. So there you have it, the fabulous Alex. So there you have it. Alex has done 2 looks for me. Thank you so much.
Such a pleasure.
I will be linking all ways to get a hold of Alex in the descriptor below for you, and I will put her onto all the links through all my other social platforms as well, so you can get a hold of her and get her doing all your makeup needs. But other than that, thanks very much for joining me at Organized Joy, organizing your life from A to Z.